After planning on spending nearly $70 billion on electric cars, Honda is saying maybe hybrids were the better bet all along. Honda's getting a little bit cold feet on EVs, not entirely, but they are doing the smart thing right here and doubling down on hybrids. We're going to talk about this today in detail. We'll also discuss GM's investment into the US. And we do have a big Toyota update and their proposal on getting these tariffs figured out with Japan and the United States. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name's Kirk. I talk about car news just about every single day. I'm reviewing an Acura ADX and a GMC Yukon AT4. All right, so stay tuned for those car reviews, and I should have my Volvo EX30 review going up soon. So if you guys like that content, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you want to see more hybrids from Honda. And this article doesn't get into it too much, but remember, Honda just recently announced that they're finally going to have large platform hybrids for the Pilot, Passport, Odyssey, and Ridgeline, assuming the Ridgeline doesn't get canceled. There's all sorts of rumors around that truck. All right, we'll finally have capable large platform hybrids from Honda, and I can't be more excited. Those are supposed to be coming out, though, in like 2027, so we're still a ways out. Honda shifting their focus to hybrids from EVs, because EVs still are not profitable. President Toshihiro Mibe said last month that hybrids will play a central role in the transitional period of EV adoption. That's when he announced that the EV investments were going to go from 10 trillion yen to 7 trillion yen. And they'd remind us that when Mibe got in 2021, he said Honda was going to be fully electric by 2040. I believe that it could happen, and I also believe that it might not happen. All right, I'm not going to say Honda is going to be fully electric by then. You got to keep in mind, and this is how I see it. Honda's built their entire success on the backs of internal combustion engines, from their motorcycles to their motorsports, to their automobiles. And Honda without an internal combustion engine is not a Honda that I really recognize. Now, and Honda was planning to make 2 million EVs by 2030. And now that forecast is between 700 and 750,000. All right, so their estimation is less than half, about a third of the EVs in 2030 than they were initially expecting. That's nowhere close. Honda sold almost 20,000 EVs in the first quarter this year. That's up more than 5 times compared to 2024. However, it's costing Honda, and you could say Acura, but essentially Honda, it's costing them dearly. To just give you an idea on these incentives, and they just keep stacking. But here's Honda saying, all right, well, here's $2,000 Honda Financial Services lease/finance cash. This is going to be on top of the existing $3,500 in lease/finance cash, plus a $1,000 lease finance loyalty conquest bonus. Then you get the EV tax credit there as well. And just looking at their website, this is not going to include the CARB states. This is just my zip code plugged in. I mean, the lowest price for a Prologue, they're saying, is $259 a month. Again, that's $4,000 down at signing. And most of these leases are about $4,000 down at signing. So $259 a month, that's less than a Civic sedan. And we know that the Prologue retails for about, 20 grand more than a Civic. And actually, Honda's lowest payment vehicle is an Accord, front wheel drive base LX. So with incentives over 1 million yen per car, or about $7,000 per unit, Honda is not making that much money on cars. Check this out. The operating profit for last year's fiscal year was 1.7% for their four-wheeled business, compared to 18.3% for motorcycles. That's a profit margin for motorcycles, almost 20%, and cars are almost nothing. And they're saying electric vehicles are the primary culprit, as Honda hybrids otherwise are profitable enough to raise the margin for the automobile segment significantly. That's why Mibe is like, okay, well, we're still going to be electric. I'm not going back on our long-term goal here, which isn't that long. It's only 15 years from now. All right. But he's saying, hey, let's double, triple down on hybrids. That's where the market is. That's where the money is. Follow the money. Follow what the customers want right now. And the large platform hybrids should have been out years ago. All right. And now they're like a little bit in panic mode because the EV transition hasn't happened as fast as they wanted it to. Is it going to happen? The 100% EV by 2040, anything's possible, like I said, but my doubts keep creeping up about that transition. Honda in the past set a 5% profit margin on EVs in the year ending March 2031. I'm not going to say this is impossible, but because of economies of scale and the lack of production or the reduction in production, you can't really hit those high profit margins. I mean, you could say Tesla is doing it, but you have to keep in mind Tesla has no ICE business. They have no dealership. It's just a much simpler business model. And dealers take about 5% of the profit away from Honda, for example. That's why Honda's potentially getting sued because of Sony Honda Mobility and the Afeela car not being offered through Honda's dealers. Mibe said, referring to hybrids being a loss-making business until about 10 years ago, he said there's no technology that will immediately turn a profit. EVs will not become profitable unless we develop them. I do agree with that. And it's still a gamble. It's still a gamble to say, oh, the world is ready for full battery electric in just a short amount of time. For now, Honda's pursuing hybrid sales to bolster profits while showing investors they can make profitable EVs. And they're saying by doing it alone, it's nearly impossible to be profitable. That's why they're saying they need to collaborate with Nissan, but that fell through. Who else is Honda going to work with? We know they're working with Sony. They are no longer working with General Motors. That relationship has been scrapped. Speaking of General Motors, we're going to move on. GM is investing $4 billion in 3 U.S. factories to build gasoline and electric vehicles over the next 2 years. These investments are in the Orion Assembly in Michigan, Fairfax Assembly in Kansas, and Spring Hill Manufacturing in Tennessee. Spring Hill is where they currently make a few of their EVs. If you look at I think the Cadillac Lyriq, as well as actually Acura ZDX, those are both made there in Spring Hill. The Orion Assembly, which has been down for retooling since late 2023, originally was to build electric pickup trucks. Well, where's the demand there? Very little demand on electric pickup trucks, at least the big, heavy, and efficient ones. They're now going to be building full gasoline-powered SUVs and light-duty pickup trucks starting in 2027. Go figure. And a lot of those potential EVs that were going to be built, though, there will be continued to be built at the Zero Electric Vehicle Plant Detroit that builds the Silverado EV, so GMC, Sierra EV, Hummer EV, and Cadillac Escalade IQ. And the competitor to the new Nissan Leaf, the Chevy Bolt EV, it looks like will be built at the Fairfax plant starting 2027. So GM's still doing the shuffle, figuring things out. I mean, Honda's doing the shuffle, figuring things out with hybrids as well. And GM is seemingly, pumping the brakes on EVs too, reinvesting back into gas cars. GM needs hybrids bad. And the last time I heard, do they even mention plug-in hybrid in this article or EREV? No. They need to get on the board there because that's where the market is, and they're missing that. All right. Toyota, what are they going to do? What is their proposal to avoid tariffs? Well, Toyota is telling the Japanese government that it will sell U.S.-made cars in Japan through the Toyota dealership network. The proposal is intended to support Japan's trade negotiations in the United States with Trump's tariffs. Observers said increased imports of U.S.-made cars could help narrow the large U.S. trade deficit, a source of frustration, of course, for the president. According to a video released on Monday, Akio Toyoda, which ironically I had a dream about Akio last night. Really weird. I was driving him, but I think it was in America because it was on the right-hand side of the road. I was driving a left-hand drive car. Akio was in the passenger seat. I was about ready to break the news on an upcoming car, and he's just saying, yeah, that's all right, but don't say for sure that it's going to be that. Just say maybe. Like it might have this powertrain and it might look like this. It was just kind of funny. Anyways, I'm having dreams about Akio Toyota. It's ridiculous. According to video released on Monday, Mr. Morizo Akio himself informed the Prime Minister Ishiba-san during their meeting that Toyota would be able to sell vehicles manufactured by U.S. automakers through its network of over 4,000 stores in Japan. So it could be Jeep, it could be a Ford, it could be General Motors. That could be sold at Toyota dealerships. What kind of world are we living in? I just found that interesting, and we're going to end with this. Look at what Toyota has going into Le Mans. This liquid hydrogen race car. It is beautiful. Look at the front end. When I first saw this, I thought maybe it was the LFR, because the LFR has similar styling to this, and this is a good indication of the LFR styling, and it just seemed to be more down pat now. But this thing is going to be screaming. Let's decline those cookies. It's going to be screaming around Le Mans. I wish I had more information on it, on like the engine, the output numbers. Oh, we do. Oh, maybe not. All right, got excited. Hydrogen hybrid system. Of course, they're using liquid hydrogen. That's all the specs I have here. But the thing is beautiful. I think you guys would agree. And we just need the LFR to come out with similar styling on the front end for the Lexus. And who knows what the LFR, if it's just going to be a Lexus product or if it's going to be a Toyota and Lexus product with different front bumpers and rear bumpers. I just don't know. There's so many questions I have about the LFA replacement, I guess you could call it, or successor. It's not replacement because nothing can replace a V10 LFA. But I got to shut it down there. Thank you guys for watching. I can't wait to see you in the comments on what you think Honda's future is. Is it hybrids, more hybrids, and supplement with a few EVs? But if the CARB states require 35-40% EV starting next year, they can't just have a bunch of hybrids. They're going to get fined. Lovely, right? California is going to take their money and say, hey, you're not making clean enough cars, even though the hybrids and plug-in hybrids, which Honda could absolutely benefit from having plug-in hybrids, but like California doesn't want plug-in hybrids. They really want BEVs over plug-in hybrids. And over time, they want to phase out plug-in hybrids completely, which... is a customer asking for this? I don't think so. At least not in the numbers that California and Honda were expecting. I think Honda needs to just go full ham on hybrids in the near term. Large platform hybrids, give us plug-in hybrids, give us performance hybrids, and they will be doing that to a degree with their next gen. They'll be more fun to drive. They're not going to be that fast, but they'll be more fun to drive. And that's what Hondas have always been known for. Extremely fun to drive, efficient, reliable cars. So thank you guys for watching. I got to shut down there. Is the future for Honda fully electric, or is 2040's goals a little too ambitious? Have a great day and peace out.